Hey dudes, and welcome to today's video. I just woke up and I kinda look like shit, so before we start, let me just get myself a bit cleaned up. Alright, now we're ready. Oh, I still look like shit. As some of you already know, I am vegan, and I'm vegan mostly for environmental reasons. So today's video is about being vegan, about environment, about zero and low waste lifestyle, and just sustainable living, I guess. But this camera is way too heavy, so let me put it on a tripod, plus the lighting looks really bad, so let's just set up my studio, which is basically the wall on my living room. Okay, so the video idea is that I'm gonna name 10 or a bit more different things that I do in my life, the things that I've incorporated in my lifestyle to have less impact on environment. Before I start this video, I do want to say that yeah, some of these things or ideas you might have heard before because I probably stole them from another YouTuber, but I am very thankful to all of them because now I know more stuff and then I incorporate that in my own life, and then now I just want to share it even further to my small audience, and maybe some of you will like those ideas and want to use them in your life, and that just makes the whole world a bit better place, doesn't it? And if you're interested about the people who make these videos a lot better than I do, just ask me in the comments and I'll try to find the channels that I get inspired from. I do want to make more of these kind of vegan lifestyle, sustainable living, minimalist videos or something. So if you would like to watch those, leave a like or let me know in the comments. Also, before you judge me, I do understand that having a sustainable living and zero or low waste lifestyle is kind of a privilege, and some of these things cost more just to live like that, and I do know that, so don't judge me yet. But my goal of this video is just to share these things, and maybe some of these things work for you, maybe not. It's not for everyone, so yeah. Now let's get on with the video. Okay, the first things first, let's get out of the way the most obvious things. I do have a wooden bamboo toothbrush, which is nice and has a lot smaller impact than a plastic toothbrush that will dissolve in like 600 years. I do have wooden cotton buds that were sent in a plastic package, so that's that, because I couldn't find a shop that would just sell them in a paper one. The next thing is we buy our shampoos in Lush, which are vegan, they're against animal cruelty, and they come in paper bags, which is really good. I do realize that those Lush shampoos do cost like 6 times more than a normal shampoo in a plastic bottle, so that isn't always an option to everyone. But if you can't afford it, then at least they're not in plastic bottles but in a little paper bag, so that's kind of nice. The next thing is also a bit obvious, but it's clothing. So probably everyone already knows that fast fashion and just like capitalism and consumerism has made clothes into a kind of a problem. I used to buy clothes like crazy. If I would find something on sale, I would just buy things that I don't even like, I'm not gonna wear. But lately I've stopped buying things and only buy the things that I definitely will wear, the things I definitely will like, and then I mostly tend to wear my garments and my clothes for years, so that until they're actually unwearable and I look like a completely homeless person. Then after I do that, I do recycle my clothes. I donate the clothes that I don't like anymore, and some of my clothes I do sell on eBay. And then if any of my t-shirts are really bad condition, you don't want to do anything with them, then I use them as cleaning cloths. So I have my t-shirts that I don't like, I just like wipe the floor with them and the tables and stuff, but like just wash them, obviously. Not a lot of my clothes just actually end up in trash, so that's kind of a good thing. And then the next thing I do is I do tend to buy more quality clothes and especially shoes, so that I wouldn't go through 8 pairs of shoes in a year, but I would rather buy good quality shoes that cost a little bit more and they last me for several years. Also, when I buy clothing, I try to rather get better materials if possible, instead of buying plastic or polyester t-shirts, because they're not good for you and also they're not good for the environment because they're made from plastic. And also it's another subject of availability, whether you can afford to or not, because of course buying a plastic t-shirt is gonna save you 10 pounds, but it also has a bigger impact on the environment. And some things that I would do in my kitchen that are sustainable probably would be, this is one idea I stole from a YouTuber or just got an idea and I liked it, is not to use the frying paper in your oven, but to get a silicone frying paper or a mat that you can just wash and reuse forever and ever. And I haven't bought or used baking paper since, so that's a good idea. Then I also have wooden utensils like these for cooking, and if they ever break or they're just old and disgusting, then I can just throw them out and the impact on environment isn't as bad because they will compose a lot quicker. I also only have my 3 sets of knives that I sharpen myself if they ever get dull. So yeah, that's at least something, another thing that I do. Then, as I said before, I do not use any paper towels to clean up. I have my old t-shirts or just normal mops that you could use forever and ever and just wash. I do use paper napkins at the moment for food because I'm a messy eater, but my plan is to get some kind of those cotton napkins or canvas napkins, something like that you could reuse more and more, and it just looks more fancy, I guess. So I'll find out a place where I could get them and find some nice ones so that I would actually want to use them, and then I will not need paper napkins either. Then for food for work, I use the same plastic box for years and years and just keep on washing it so it's not dirty. But I know it's plastic isn't great. I also think it's better than single-use foil or plastic bags or any kind of wrap. So this, I think, for me is a good choice. Then I also once bought this nice glass bottle for my water for my work. I am kind of guilty because I do pour sparkling water in it, but it comes in a lot larger bottles. So I do use the one big water bottle for like 4 days to drink at work. I know that buying big plastic bottles of sparkling water isn't super low, zero waste, sustainable living, but I don't think the water at work or at home is safe to drink from the tap, so that's my option now. But if I get better water, I could just use my bottle to refill my water, so I don't have to buy those small bottles. At least I'm doing something. Yeah, keep lying to yourself. When I go shopping, I always get my backpack with me or a canvas bag, so I never buy the plastic bags for shopping. If I buy tea, I buy it in this paper box. It doesn't have any plastic wrap. You can get this in my favorite shop, Lidl. And when I buy fruits or vegetables, I never use the single-use tiny clear plastic bags, but just weigh the items as they are. Because I used to have so many little clear plastic bags, but you never use them and they just collect and they're not really recyclable, so they're just a bunch of waste. So I stopped using those. When I buy things online like the wooden toothbrushes or cotton buds, they come in plastic postage bags, but to reduce the impact, I do try to reuse them if possible, because I do sell some of my things on eBay. Then I try to reuse the same packaging and send it further, so at least it's not single-use posting package, but at least double use, and hopefully the next person is as sustainable and so godly like I am, and maybe they'll use it the 3rd time. How cool would be that? Not really cool. The next thing that I'm very proud of is tech, gadgets, and electronics, because I only upgrade my phones, my laptops, my cameras, all that stuff only when I actually need to, and when I do, if it's possible, then I resell it so that I would get some kind of money back, and at least it doesn't go straight to waste. And if I can't sell it and if it's unusable condition, no one wants to buy it, I do bring it to actual electronic recycling, so that also reduces the impact, and I'm happy about that. So I did that with my old computer and other old tech that I had. I brought it to actual electronics and electronic waste recycling. And with my old iPhone, I just brought it to Apple Store and they accepted it, and they're recycling the parts and remaking it and putting it into new iPhones and then selling them for $1,000. I also have an electronic razor, which is plastic, it's electronics, but it will last me for several years, and then I will recycle it properly when it dies off. And it's a lot better than buying 50,000 single-use razors, and even the ones where you just change the end, that's still changing the end every once in a while. So this guy just stays the same forever and ever until it just dies, and then I'll recycle it. The next electronic plastic thing that I do have is my Kindle, but I also think it's much more sustainable than buying paper books. I know wooden books would recycle quicker, but it's definitely better than cutting down thousands of trees, then using ink to print on them. Because I do have about 100 books here, and as many books as I buy, they're always in this tiny little thing, and then if this thing dies, I'll recycle it. And all the books that I did have before my Kindle, after I've finished reading them, I just donate them so that the next person can read them, and that is also zero low sustainable living. I still have about 7 to 10 books that I haven't read, but once I do, I will donate those as well. And the last thing that I do, which isn't gonna work for a lot of people, but I'm vegan. And as I said in the beginning of the video, mainly for me being vegan is about environment and in some level animals as well, but mainly understanding that being vegan has such a smaller impact on the world. Also, don't get me wrong, if you're not vegan, I am not judging. I don't care what you do. If you want to be vegan, you can be vegan. If you want to be a vegetarian, be a vegetarian. But if you like beef and milk and cheese and eggs and all this stuff, I don't care. Do what you want, not my thing. But if you want to, then that's cool. I think being vegan is the biggest impact and also the hardest one to do, but I'm happy that I am. It's gonna be close to 2 years in March that I've been vegan, and I don't think I have any plans to go back to eating meat. And even with all the vegan foods that I do eat, I try to minimize food waste as little as possible, but I still waste some food and I do feel kind of guilty, but I'm trying my best to minimize that as well, so not to have food waste. But I'm also not gonna go completely wild and eat potato peels just not to throw them in trash. You'd be surprised, some people would do that. But the less waste I create, the better I feel. I'm also very fond of having as many plants as I can in this dark little apartment, which makes the apartment look and feel more alive, and they actually give me free oxygen, which is great. I don't really know how having plants is zero waste, but I mean, I think they're good for the planet, so I'll take that. I know that being one person trying to do all these things is not have a huge impact on the world, but then again, I do feel better about myself and the way I live. So I like doing all these things anyways. So these were 10 of my tips for zero low waste sustainable living, I guess, and that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you felt like any of this was any useful, leave a like, and if you want to watch any of my future videos, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!